the 617 text during the break, did you see it about essentially says, well, I got to go back and find it, but with what happened with Ricky Fowler this weekend, do you think they will finally do something about new golf fans that are ruining the experience?
No.
Like,
what happened?
Can they please not do anything within,
that was hilarious, though.
What happened? For us who don't know.
It was the Players' Championship. Ricky Fowler was on the tee, and people are taking pictures with their cell phones, and somebody, I don't know why somebody didn't have it on silent, so you're getting the clicking noise, and his caddy says, do you mind? Can you stop? And as he's teeing off, same clicking noise, and he hits his ball. He hit a great ball, by the way, great drive.
Well, and some guy yelled, "Here we go, Ricky!"
Right, and then he goes, "You!" Loses it on the guy. I don't care about people are overreacting maybe based on the wasted management or whatever, but isn't the object to get people to enjoy coming to attend the sporting event? I mean, if a guy can hit a baseball with 30,000 people yelling,
right, or a guy can shoot a one-timer. I just don't get golf, and I believe isn't tennis like this too. Why is it that you can't
demand silence?
Like you can't do these things unless it's in silence. But you could drive a car with people talking to you.
Yeah, but that's
you can't focus.
That's one of the beautiful parts of golf. Like when you're playing with your friends, you can have a little boom box for yourself. But
even then you still got to whisper.
But when you're playing with not when you're playing with your friends, but when you're at a tournament or if you're playing with people you don't know, you don't speak in someone's backswing. You make sure that your phone's off. It's the decorum of the sport, I guess. But I have no problem with Ricky Fowler calling somebody out. It's a rule. You know that when you go to the tournament.
Yeah, it's kind of a douche move.
But it's weird. It's the same guy who at the Waste Management Open is on the putting green. Everybody's quieting down because he's putting. He turns around and makes everybody get louder and then putt.
But that's a different tournament.
It doesn't matter. It shouldn't be though, Courtney. It is the old decorum of golf needs to update with the times a little bit. And if so what if there's a heckler or somebody's a little loud? Relax, just hit the golf ball, make the shot. Right. If you can make the shot, you can make the shot. Wyndham Clark put one in the water on 17, not because someone was talking, because he made a bad shot.
Is there any doubt if your name's Wyndham, you're going to become a golfer?
That or water polo.
I just never understand.
I hate the way golf hardos are, and I know I grew up in a golf club. I know all about it. The bigger stickler you are for the obscure rules of golf, the bigger douche you are in general.
When you say obscure rules, what do you mean?
Well,
Chris?
just the guy, ever since the Howard Stern stuff with Baba Booey, there is the thing where people want to be the first to yell, so that the mics pick you up on the CBS or NBC broadcast.
Spicy meatball.
And so I remember, I think we did this. Nick Faldo lectured people about it during the Masters, I want to say, a couple years ago, where it's the fans are there paying money to watch you golf and support the tour now, which needs as much support as ever, considering the fractured nature of golf. And Ricky Fowler, who's never won a damn thing, is screaming and saying, "You!" What is it?
That's it. He said "you," and then it was over.
But does it throw you off that much?
But he's yelling at a fan. That's not good for the game.
No, it's not. But as a golfer, people who do this professionally, I would love to ask somebody.
Tiger used to get worked up about it.
But does it really throw you off that much?
He's the best to ever do it.
Yeah, someone's backswing. Yeah.
So, like Shime said, though, how
Block
come
out the noise?
How come
every
when
other athlete on the planet?
How come when you make a bad shot
Shime,
and it's
stop?
No, but
what? Stop right now, Golf Hardo. Stop.
What do you mean stop?
Stop.
I have never once been hey, quiet in my backswing.
Of course you wouldn't, because you're not a PGA golfer.
So what?
So that's that. Yeah,
Wicky's an NFL athlete. He's gotten heckled at games a million times.
I think you're a loser if you're playing golf with your pals and you're, not that great and you're complaining about people being loud or not tucking their shirt in or, whatever. But if you are on the tour, there are rules with it. And if you're asked numerous times as a crowd to quiet down, there are signs everywhere. And if you go to a golf tournament, there are signs everywhere that say quiet please, quiet please. If you choose to keep your phone on, you're being the douche, not Ricky Fowler.
So it's really, if you were, and I'm not a golf fan, and I don't, claim to be one. It's really more about the etiquette of what golf started as.
Yeah, it's
a very wealthy game where
I don't think wealth plays into people being
no,
loud.
It is the country club etiquette.
But hear me out,
right?
So a very wealthy game where everything is real proper, the way the sport is played, how you dress, how you do. Because I would say this. To hit a 98-mile-an-hour baseball is way harder than hitting a golf ball. And as a baseball player, you do it with thousands of fans yelling and screaming or whatever it is. Yeah. So is it more because the golf etiquette of the history of the game on where it started? That's why I would love to ask these professional golfers, does it really affect you that much if you're that good of a golfer?
But when you're playing baseball your entire life in Little League, you have people yelling the entire time. When you're growing up playing golf, you go by the etiquette.
Yeah. Right.
So
the etiquette is just because this is how the game started out. Yeah, it's not that. So if I'd ask a golfer, could you do the same thing with nobody talking versus if people are yelling and screaming?
I think they would say, well, if I'm at the Waste Management, I know what I'm getting myself into, so I know what to expect. When I'm at the players tournament, I think that people are going to be quiet and follow the rules.
So then they could. So your answer to my question, a golfer could do that.
They could if they go into it mentally prepared for that. Yeah.
All right.
But
so
why
it's
can't
more
we
the
ask
etiquette.
them to evolve, just like we've asked every other sport to evolve? You asked Major League Baseball to evolve with a pitch clock. You changed rules in football. You changed rules in hockey. Like, why can't we also ask golf if it becomes a more enjoyable product? Why can we not ask the athletes to evolve with the times? Like, I think that's a fair question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking because of the conversation.
How annoying is it to hear someone's phone pinging?
Is that a douche move? I think it was in the Twitch chat. Mm-hmm. Somebody was saying keeping your phone not on silent in public is a complete douche move.
The person must have been 80 because there's no way. Like, having someone's phone on, hearing any type of noise like that is the most annoying thing.
You mean at the golf course?
No, in life.
I did watch an old guy try to take a picture the other day for like 10 minutes, and I was laughing. And
but I keep my ringer on though, because a lot of times, sometimes if you keep it on silent, you might miss calls.
Oh, well, you shouldn't be getting a call in the middle of a tournament.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about on a golf course.
Well, yeah, but no, right. I'm saying, like, my mom will sometimes have her sound on while she's texting, and you hear the
program note, massive expansion of the Numbnuts Invitational this year.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
Massive.
I have one rule at the Numbnuts Invitational, because it is, after my namesake here, no rules.
No,
I
rules.
like that. Nice.
Are we changing the name?
Can we heckle?
I will say this about my beloved course, Granite Links. We don't have a lot of rules over there. We have a lot of fun. We have, that's where we hold the Numbnuts Invitational every year. Right. We probably have the best audio systems on golf carts anywhere in the United States of America, I would argue.
Are we changing the name of it this year?
No, I think we'll stick with the Numbnuts. What were we going to go with?
Numputts.
Oh, Numputts.
Oh, I like that.
Numputts Invitational. But I think we're going to get the whole... But we only had like 4 groups last year, which was great, or 5, whatever it was. I think we're going to get the whole course.
I love it. And by the way,
awesome.
We can't talk about golf etiquette without my favorite moment ever, where Ken and I went golfing. We've worked together for about a decade. We've hung out socially 3 times, and but we went to Woodland, and Ken is just chipping right in front of the rope at the practice range, and this hardo douche gets up and whips the rope, which is used to show where you can hit, and hits Ken in the chest, and is like physically getting him away from where he's golfing with a rope, instead of just telling him to walk back. And then he's screaming at him to tuck in his shirt.
Oh,
wow. Golf hardos are the worst.
Curtis, my good friend Bucky from Oak Hill wants you to know that the Players is the 5th major. Okay, so
Ricky Fowler has won the Players.
Yes.
Well, do you think they would get younger fans into golf if they allowed them to kind of, cheer on, and golfers were like, okay, you know what, the game has evolved a little bit.
That's what Liv does. So that's what Liv is.
They've taken it to like a new level, though.
They're blaming Liv for the way PGA fans are now behaving at tournaments like the Players. So Liv encourages loud fans. Liv encourages like. Somebody hits a hole in one, everybody throws their beer out on the
Tiesto
course.
in between shots.
Right.
Ricky Fowler basically is Shooter McGavin mad at the new crowd Happy Gilmore brought to golf.
I think if somebody on the Live Tour, someone yelled out during their backswing out of nowhere, they would be upset too.
This is Tim from Rhode Island. Hello, Tim.
Hey, how are you? I love your show, guys.
Thank you.
I just wanted to talk to Courtney. She's 100% right. I'm an avid golfer. I play with professionals and caddies, and at that level, to play at that level on a swing or a putt, if you make a noise when they're concentrating, it does affect it. It is very difficult to play at that kind of the precision that they do. So they're wrong about you can make noise. I mean, and Courtney's 100% right. The other thing, the waste management, that's all about a party.
Yeah.
That's all about a party. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in because I have played with.
But Wiggy's saying in the sport that he played, certainly you're encouraged to make a lot of noise to disrupt the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In baseball, you could argue that hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. There's a lot of noise.
Right.
Wiggy is suggesting that maybe these guys ought to get with the program and deal with the noise, and that would make them even better.
Right. Maybe it'd make the game more entertaining. Yes. For fans that wanted to go there and they wanted to cheer on.
Can you imagine a quarterback stopping and going shh? Pointing somebody out who's yelling,
right?
Well, or clicking their phone,
and I get
like a right fielder getting heckled in the outfield, and him just turning around and be like, "You out of here!"
That's
like
constant
LeBron
noise, though.
But I get the football, the where I compare it more than anything, and which I think is one of the hardest things to do. It'd be like, can you imagine a baseball player going to home plate and being like, "All right, everybody needs to be quiet so I can focus."
But that's constant noise.
Well, no.
That's
but
like when you're sleeping and you have white noise or something playing to put you to sleep. That's constant noise. If it shuts off, you will wake up.
What do you mean that's constant noise?
If you have constant noise going on, you're living in that constant noise. If you are asleep and all of a sudden some noise goes off,
right.
that will wake you up.
Right.
Just like in any.
So you're saying golfers are always asleep and then this noise startles them.
Right.
But that's my point. If they started with if they introduced cheering into the sport, they would just have to.
Well, that's the waste management.
But also, it was an issue this year more than ever at the waste management, where there were a couple guys who got into it with fans.
Zach Johnson got pissed at a fan.
Yes, livid.
But that's because the fan was heckling him about the Ryder Cup, to be fair.
Yeah, but again, you can see where the golfers are going with it, which is they don't like it. They don't want anybody talking to them.
They would rather no one be on the course.
But see, here's
probably. I mean, do they understand though that the way the sport works and how they get their money?
Right, but
they get their money from the fans who are going there and paying ridiculous amounts of money to go and see a golf tournament.
But my favorite move on the golf course, Greg, is when you're in your backswing, hitting the cart into reverse. It works every time.
But Greg, you know who we criticized all the time, and we still to this day, baseball pitchers because of the pitch clock when they're like, I can't do it. I need to take my 50 seconds. We criticize them. So it's a similar thing. Why can't we criticize you for not going, okay, I understand this is the old way of doing things, but now you just have to learn to be able to focus with people cheering you on or booing you.